Okay, it is time for piano. Hi everyone, it is Saturday, it's Adults and Teens Piano, and I'm so glad you could join me today. Yes, we are already on our 22nd lesson. It's just amazing to me to think that many months ago, 7 months now? Almost 8 months? We started this piano journey not really knowing where we were gonna go. And I find us here halfway through our adults all-in-one book, and it's remarkable to see the progress that you guys have made. So kudos to you. But before we get started, of course, if you don't mind liking this video, sharing this video, it helps me so much. You have no idea how much just hitting that button helps me, because it just means more people can see that you like these piano videos, okay? The second thing is subscribe on YouTube, right? I have my little thingy right there. Woohoo! So subscribe on YouTube, right? So if you missed the piano lesson today, or you have to back out of the video early, that's okay. You can just subscribe on YouTube and you can watch these videos at your convenience whenever you want, whenever you have the time to do it, okay? All right. And the third thing is join the private group, right? So I've got my private group that's very busy. I have students from all over the place that post videos for me to review. They get theory help, and we have a lot of fun in that group. It is called Encore Music Makers, and you can find it on the groups tab on the Facebook page, okay? Lastly, I am on Patreon, right? I say this every video, right? So Patreon is super important for creative people like myself, because it gives us a chance to earn a steadier income than, just accepting donations on the fly, right? So if you want to do this on a regular basis, supporting these lessons that I'm bringing to you for free every single week, join Patreon, right? I have lots of really cool stuff going on Patreon, stuff that's exclusive just to them. So I'd love to include you in that as well. Just visit patreon.com/IzzyChia and just pick a tier that works for your budget. I have stuff as low as $3 a month, the cost of a coffee, all the way up to $50 a month, depending on what works for your family. Okay? I'd love to have you. All right, so all of that aside, we have to get to the music, okay? So last week I gave you a pretty hefty amount of music to learn, right? So I want to go over those songs. I know some of them were probably just right for last week, and some of them might be a little bit on the tricky side still. That's okay, all right? There's no reason why you have to worry about the amount of music, right? Because this is a self-paced course, right? This is a self-paced lesson series. All right, so let's look at our books. Here we are. It's all in one. We're going to open to page 84, and we are on Lavender's Blue, okay? Lavender's Blue. This is a C position review, and this is actually one of the first songs that we had that, actually not first, but maybe the second song that we had with sixths, right? That interval of a sixth. So let's go ahead and switch to piano view, and we can play through Lavender's Blue together, okay? It does have a repeat on the second line, so be aware of that as we are playing it together. All right. So looking here, we're in C position. So we're going to make sure that that right hand thumb begins on the middle C, and the rest of our fingers are fanned out. We'll count down 1, 2, 3 notes to our left hand thumb on G. And that is considered your C position, okay? Now the time signature of this piece is telling us that we're having 3 beats per measure. We are beginning with the dynamic sign, that's mezzo forte, so that's about a medium level. And we're beginning with a harmonic triad in our left hand and a finger 1 on middle C in the right hand. Let's get started. 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. Fiona. That was beautiful. If you were able to keep up with me, then bravo to you. The ritardando at the end really made it special, right? It's like that slowing down, that relaxing, that coming to an end at the end of the song. It was really beautiful. If you managed to combine that with the diminuendo, I bet it sounded really, really great. So nice work on Lavender's Blue. Give yourself a pat on the back. Yay! All right. So we're going to move on. Let's see how we did with Kumbaya this past week, okay? Now, this one had that new time signature that we talked about last week. You remember the 2-4 time signature? Yes. So that one is very much related to the 4-4 time signature in that it's got sort of the same idea of beats, but we're just going to count to 2 instead of 4, right? Now, the added challenge of Kumbaya is that it's a mixture and alternating between those 2 time signatures. So we begin in 2-4 time, then we switch to 4-4 time, and back to 2-4, then to 4-4, and alternating each measure until we reach the end of this piece. The only thing that you need to worry about is how high you're going to count when it comes to those beats, all right? All right, let's see how it goes. It's a C position song. I think you're going to do a great job. Let's switch to piano view. All right, so I'm back in C position again. So I've got that right hand thumb on middle C. And then I've got my left hand thumb on G below middle C. All right. Now, remember, the second time we play this, it is going to have both of my hands going up 1 octave. So that means 1 note or 1 octave that way. That's 8 notes up to the next C, right? But for now, we're going to start in the C position we know very well. Let me count off and we can get started. 1, 2, ready, play. Repeat. Wonderful work. Yeah, it definitely made a huge difference once we sort of internalized the counting. It didn't necessarily feel as daunting as it did when we first got the song assigned to us. So I'm hoping that you got through it okay. I know that octave jump up was probably a little bit tricky, but if you did manage to find the next C up higher, then you did really, really well, okay? Nice work. I'm proud of you guys for getting through that. I told you it was a lot of music last week. I wasn't lying. All right, so let's turn the page. Okay, so if you look at page 87, there's something that says Hannon's aerobic sixths, right? So we've been learning about this interval of a sixth, very, very in depth, okay? Now this is our chance for our fingers to exercise that skill that we are learning by jumping to a sixth, okay? Now, if you recall, we did learn another hand-in exercise, which was hand-in number 1, right? We started our practice with that, right? But now with hand-in's aerobic sixth, we're going to be learning a second exercise by the same person. All right, so the hand-in aerobic sixth begins with the interval of a sixth from a middle C up to an A. And then it follows a pattern going down. So we go like this. Second, third, fourth. Oh, goodness. I just messed up. So it stays with that A. C, A, G, A, 3, A, E, A, then D. And then you stretch up a sixth again to B. Then E is your thumb, and you're going to stretch up to C. Then thumb on F, up to D. And it continues this pattern as we are learning the hand-in sixths, okay? I'll switch to piano view so you can actually see what's going on the piano. I know verbally it's kind of hard to hear all that. So let's see how this goes. All right. The setup actually has us with my right hand lower and my left hand lower as well. Typically we would be here, but it's telling me to start lower. So in order for us to make that interval of a sixth, I have my pinky on low C and my thumb on A. Then my right hand thumb on C and my pinky up on A. All right, I'm going to play through this exercise very slowly so you can see exactly what's happening, okay? Take a look and take a listen. See if you notice a pattern. 1, 2, ready, play. Stretch a sixth. Fourth, sixth, second, third, fourth, fifth, down a sixth, second, third, fourth, D, down a sixth, second, third, fourth, and it continues. Yes, okay. I told you hand-in was a little bit of a challenge, huh? So hand-in is one of those things that really, really works every single finger, every muscle in your hand, every part of your wrist to see if you've achieved technical efficiency in your intervals. In this case, Hannon's aerobic sixth is working the sixth, right? So mentally thinking about that jump between a finger 5 and a finger 1 with the extra key, okay? That's what keeps the momentum going with the exercise as it continues up and then as it continues down back to the original position. Now, this exercise is meant to be done in 2 octaves. So going from that low, low C that we started all the way up 2 octaves and then all the way back down 2 octaves to get to the original position. When I played it just now, I only went halfway down so that I could show you what the ending sounded like, okay? Now, if you need extra help on Hannon, don't worry. We have practice with me on Monday. I will get some extra time in there working on Hannon with you, okay? So join me live if you can. Now, let's get our songs, okay? In addition to your Hannon, you're going to get these 2 little songs on page 88. Take a peek. There they are. We're doing London Bridge and we're doing Michael, Row Your Boat Ashore, right? Yes, so both of these songs are remarkably good because they really work on our understanding of rhythms, okay, when they pertain to the specific notes in the song. Now, if you can recall, we did learn about that dotted quarter note, right? And what was special about the dotted quarter note? Do you remember? The dotted quarter note is special because it gets 1.5 beats, okay? It's similar to a dotted half note in that you're adding an extra beat, right? But in this case, we're going to add half of another quarter note, so 1.5 beats, all right? Now, you can really hear that demonstrated in our song London Bridge, right? So if you know the nursery rhyme, London Bridge, the first note of the little tune is a dotted quarter note, right? So let's think about this. If you can sing it, it goes like this. London Bridge is falling down, right? So that first note, listen. London Bridge is falling down. Do you hear it? It's like I'm holding it just slightly longer than a typical quarter note, okay? And then it happens again on the second line, right? Wonderful. Now, let's see if we can find our piano position here with our piano mat and see which notes are going to be used to play this piece, all right? Let's do it. Okay, so we are in our piano view, and we're going to take a peek here. Now, I know by looking at the left hand and the right hand that I'm going to be in C position. I know this by looking at the first note or the first set of notes and seeing their position on the bass staff and looking at the final note and the final chord. And those are the clues that tell me what position I will be in, okay? Now, if you notice something funny, we have a G in our right hand, but it is not a finger 5 G. It says to put our finger 4 there. Precisely for the reason that we are going to be using our right hand thumb sort of as a switcher, switching between our C and our D, okay? So be very cognizant of that fact, okay? Now the left hand as well will be stretching out with our finger 5 being used as the switcher note. We've got finger 5 on C in the bass clef as well as playing the B. So be aware of that, all right? Slowly, slowly, we're going to play through London Bridge. See if you can follow along. It is in 4/4 time, so 4 beats a measure. And it looks like we're going to be starting by playing the first time through nice and forte, okay? Follow along if you can. 1, 2, ready, play. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. 1, 4, So I said my finger numbers that time, okay? I'm going to play it through again, all right? This time I will be saying my note names in the right hand, okay? Notice that finger 4 is going to start on a G in the right hand, all right? Here we go. Second time through. 1, 2, ready, play. G, A, G, F, E, F, G, D, E, F, E, F, G, G, A, G, F, E, F, G, D, G, E, C. Bravo! Now that was really good. Yes, really taking into consideration that dotted quarter note will really help you understand the note a little bit better, right, when we encounter it in music. Now, it did say to play the second time through an octave higher, and I didn't actually do that. So I'm going to see if I can do that now. Okay, one more time through an octave higher. Okay, so I started here on middle in C position, but now I want to shift my right hand up to the next C and my left hand up to the next C. Now I will find my notes to make sure I'm in the correct position. Now this time that I play it, I'm not going to say anything. Let's see if you can follow along with me, okay? This is the repeat on London Bridge on page 88. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. That was really cool. I liked it a lot better when it was up an octave higher. What do you think? Did you like it a little bit better too? Yeah, it just sounds brighter and a little bit happier, right? Very good. Now, continuing with that same energy, let's take a look at the final little song that we're going to learn here. It's another 2-line song, so it's not too tricky. And it will be also in a C position. I know it's in C position because I see the first note is a middle C. And then when I look at the last note, my left hand note is also a C. Okay? There's a lot of really cool, cute stuff going on in this song, so I think you might enjoy it. All right? Now, Michael Row the Boat Ashore begins with an incomplete measure. Oh my gosh. I only see 2 beats to start this song. So what we know about incomplete measures is that we need to look at the last measure of the song and see if it adds up to the full count of 1 measure. And in this case, it does, because we've got 2 quarter notes to begin, and at the very end, we have a half note. And a half note plus 2 quarter notes is 4 beats, all right? Now, let's get into position and we'll play this little piece. All right, so Michael Row the Boat Ashore. We've got that right hand thumb on middle C, but I noticed that it has a finger 2 skipping this D. So we're gonna skip it, and we'll fan out our fingers in every other spot, okay? Just like the piano map notates at the right next to the title, okay? You can see how it skips. The left hand looks to be in just a typical C position with that pinky on low C, below middle C, and the left hand thumb finger 1 on G above above that C, okay? This piece begins, like I said before, with an incomplete measure. It does say moderately slow and about a mezzo forte. So let's see if we can do that together, okay? Notice there is a dotted quarter note in that second measure, so be aware. Ready? I'm going to count off. 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, go. G, gonna lie though, I had a hard time singing the last part because I was like, my brain was switching between the treble clef and the bass clef, and I was like, well, what note am I gonna sing? Because I was singing the left hand and then I switched to the right. It kind of confused me, so I apologize if that was a little bit hard to keep up with. But that's okay. Now, it's important to remember that Michael Row the Boat Ashore has a ton of slurs, okay? Smoothly connected, right? Think about the ocean, right? Smooth sailing, right? Isn't that what we say, smooth sailing? Let's emulate that in the music with those slurs, okay? Very nice. Now, slowing the tempo down was probably a better idea with this song as well. So keeping it nice and steady is going to be very important, all right? Now, I'm going to play through Michael Row the Boat Ashore again with repeats, but this time I'm not going to say anything, so hopefully I don't sing the wrong notes this time, okay? Let's see if we can do it together. All right, so I'm in that C position, okay? I've got my right hand thumb on middle C, and I'm skipping that D just like it says. And then I've put my fingers. Okay, I'm going to count off. Let's see how this sounds, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, go. Good job on that. I did notice we have a lot going on with that finger 4 in the right hand. So if you find that it's pretty weak and it's not as strong as you would hope, those hand-in exercises help tremendously with achieving a stronger finger 4 and a stronger finger 5, okay? So make time to do those hand-in exercises to build up those muscles nice and strong in your fingers, okay? Well, that's awesome. We did a great job this week with these 2 little songs in our hand-in, okay? Now keep in mind, if you didn't feel comfortable with your songs from last week because they were kind of big and kind of hard, you can keep them. That's totally fine. There is no reason why you can't keep those songs and keep working on them, okay? Wonderful. Now, as far as theory is concerned, last week I had given you page, I think it was page 86. Let me see here. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, so 86 was writing sixths. If you haven't done it, now's your chance. You get 1 more week to do it, okay? All right, if you need help with theory, post it in the group and I'll help you, okay? Wonderful. Awesome. So, yeah, quick reminder, I'm on Patreon, right? Patreon is just a really great way to get me support on the financial side of things. So if you find that these lessons are helpful, if you find that you're actually learning, if you find that you're having fun, which can be kind of hard when, you know, you have a teacher that maybe you don't like vibe with or anything. Like, we got good vibes here, right? We got good vibes. So if you like my teaching style, consider supporting me with a monthly donation, right? So I've got different tiers you can join, from $3 a month all the way up to $50 a month, depending on what you're feeling like fits in your budget, okay? Of course, this is definitely way, way less expensive than private lessons, okay? But the added benefit is that me as your private teacher, if you participate fully in the group and you take advantage of all of the things going on with Patreon and comment and participate, you're essentially getting a private lesson from me because we have a relationship going, right? It's pretty wonderful. So if you want to join Patreon, I'd love to have you. All right, so we end every single piano lesson with a music quote, right? Yes, I know you've been waiting for your music quote for the week. Let's set the tone right, all right? So today's music quote comes from the English pianist and songwriter, Sir Elton John. And this is what he says. Music has healing power. It has the ability to take people out of themselves for a few hours. That is such a true statement, right? You have a headache, or you have a heartache, or you just need a break from all of the craziness of the world today. What do? You turn on your favorite song, you turn on some music, right? It really has this healing power to it. And that can't be said about too many things. I mean, art, music, poetry, literature, all those things that like make life worth living, those are the things that bring you healing and bring you happiness and peace. It's amazing to be part of something like that, isn't it? Thanks again for joining me for piano today. We had a blast. We have a lot of really cute songs to work on. And I look forward to seeing you on Patreon. I look forward to seeing you in the private group as well as on Monday for practicing if you need that extra help, okay? See you later, guys. Bye.